Here we go. Well, thank you, Hired, for inviting Prosperity Ready to be part of this project and to just spend some time today going through what this program that Prosperity Ready is going to provide is about. So we're going to jump right in. Prosperity Ready, one of our core programs is providing advanced job seeker skills to immigrants. And we provide this program to anyone with any degree in any field, and we've had really good success. Team Prosperity Ready is myself, Lisa Perez, and our program coordinator, Suzanne Thurler. So if you participate in this program, you'll be hearing quite a bit from Suzanne as she works with you throughout the course of the program. The program is being offered as a self-service type of program so that you can take these classes more as a webinar style when it suits your timing. Because if you are in the hired program, you are likely going to be busy with many other aspects of getting your medical credentials and getting ready to go down that journey to employment here in our state. So we will meet one-on-one to kick off our program, and we'll just do basic introductions, your name, what your degree is in, what healthcare area you're focused on. And we really like to get to know your country of origin, and it's very meaningful to be able to build community by talking a little bit about your favorite tradition from your country of origin. So that will be part of our kickoff that we will do via Zoom with myself and Suzanne. Prosperity Ready, just a little bit about us. So we were founded in fall of 2018. I spent over 25 years in human resources in really big companies in the HR department. And so I saw on a daily basis the barriers that our BIPOC community face when they are looking to secure the positions that they are qualified for and deserve. And I felt that I could be more impactful if I left corporate America and was working directly with the immigrant community. And so that's what our organization has done for the last 4.5 years. We will talk a little bit about why you wanted to join this program, what your dream job is, and again, your favorite tradition from your country of origin. Our learning objectives for the kickoff are going to be around beginning to confidently introduce yourself. We want you to make sure you understand the contents of the program, and we're going to talk in a few minutes about the curriculum and the flow of the curriculum and why it's really important to take one topic at a time over the course of this 12-week program. So we are going to get right into the curriculum. And if any of our folks who are sitting in this session today that we are recording from Hired, if you have questions as we go, please feel free to jump in. I do want to say before we get into the curriculum, as I was going through our previous sessions that we've held. So we've conducted this program 2 times, once last fall and once this spring. And we had 4 medically trained professionals in those 2 programs. And 3 of them went on to land positions in their specific medical field. And the 4th has been dealing with some family health issues. So they have not been able to continue their job search. But I wanted to let this group know that we have had doctors and scientists in our program in the past, and it has been very helpful curriculum for them in terms of navigating their job search here in the United States. So we already talked about the kickoff. The second week we'll be talking about resumes. You will be provided a coach, a resume coach. It will either be myself or somebody in the HR field who has executive level experience and a lot of experience in helping people create an amazing resume that speaks to your potential. A recruiter or a hiring manager is going to spend 7 seconds at the most, 7 seconds, starting to read your resume before they decide if they're going to put it in the discard pile or the call pile. So your resume is the core of your professional brand. And that's why we start with resumes and how important they are. And we provide you with a format that is what a recruiter or a hiring manager is going to be looking for as a professional. And because we do have experience with doctors and other medical professionals, your resume is going to be, as a medical professional, your resume is going to be a blend between a traditional resume and what is known in the more of the academic world as a curriculum vitae. So we will work with you to understand your background and what you are going to be working on in terms of this program that you're going through with Hired. So for example, if you have published research in the past, we will make sure that that is properly reflected in your resume. And again, we do have experience in helping medical professionals make sure that their resume includes all the really important factors. So your resume is the beginning of your toolkit that starts to document your professional brand. And we talk about that a lot in our resume session. So it's not just about what's on paper. It's about starting to weave the story of your potential from your resume to your LinkedIn profile and to how you manage your impression of yourself when you're face-to-face with people. So hopefully just kind of seeing the words on the page here and the words that I'm saying, the flow of this program is really important. So we will start with your resume. You will have a chance to view a webinar that we've held in the past that talks about your resume and your brand. The next one will be LinkedIn. Our LinkedIn webinar is led and recorded by Richard Dodson. Richard Dodson is one of the top 5 LinkedIn experts in the country, and he happens to live in our state, and he happens to have a huge heart for immigrants. So you will get to see Richard talking about how to build a LinkedIn profile that continues to not only showcase your potential, but also is going to get noticed by recruiters. So in addition to networking, LinkedIn is the way that you are going to get noticed and get phone calls about open positions in the medical industry. Impression management. 70% of professional jobs in the state of Minnesota are secured by networking. And so we are going to teach you impression management and networking. How do you show up in a room full of people and talk about yourself in a way that's authentic, but also really gets noticed and gets attention? We are going to share with you we will mail you a welcome kit when you join the program. And there are going to be 2 really important books. One of those are written by Richard Dodson, and it is all about how to tactfully promote yourself. It's really uncomfortable to walk into a room or walk into an interview or get on a Zoom call and talk about how you can add value to an organization. So we are going to provide some really meaningful content in Richard's book about that. David Magee and Rosie Owen are experts in impression management. They will come together in a webinar about impression management and how to build your network. And they are really fun to hear from and very much experts in their space. Networking will be led by Team Prosperity Ready, but part of your welcome kit is going to include a book, the 20-minute networking meeting. It lays out a process on how to network, how to make cold calls, how to show up in a meaningful and comfortable way when you're out there networking, because again, most professional positions are secured via networking, especially in our state. Then talking about corporate culture, we're going to try to demystify corporate culture and talk about what is corporate culture? What are some of the things that we practice in the US that can be a bit confusing? We're going to give you information about how to navigate corporate culture. And in our second session on corporate culture, we're going to talk about how to deal with microaggressions. What is a microaggression? How do you identify one? And how do you decide how to respond to microaggressions or harassment? We're going to talk about your rights as an employee and how you can protect your rights and what to do if you feel your rights are not being upheld. I'm going to pause there. So we're about halfway through talking about this curriculum. Do I have any questions or comments from my hired partners who are on this session with us?
Everything sounds really great, Lisa. I'm really excited about this program. I think this is going to be just excellent for our participants. So thank you.
You're welcome. So kind of leaning in now to the second half of the curriculum, interviewing and negotiating offers. That is led by an expert in talent management. He works for Medtronic, so one of the biggest healthcare device manufacturers in the world. And he will be talking about interviewing and negotiating offers. We have got two wellness experts, Mitch and Sherry, who are going to talk about just the holistic view of caring for ourselves, and especially when you're going through a job search. There's a lot we can do to take care of ourselves, and a lot of times I think when we're in the healthcare industry, we tend, to focus on others. You're in this industry because you care about other people's health and well-being. So we're going to take a session to really think about ourselves and what are some techniques that we can be using to make sure that we're engaging in the right kind of self-care, especially while we're going through a job search. It can be a high stress situation. We are going to invite a panel of healthcare workers, so immigrant healthcare workers who have navigated this industry, who work in some big companies in the state of Minnesota, to come in and offer their advice. What did they do to conquer barriers? What are they still working on? What are they seeing? What advice do they have for you as a participant on this journey? We also want to engage with healthcare leaders. So whether they be in human resources or they are in the executive leadership and the hiring manager space, we want to hear from them and what advice can they offer you as you get to that point in your program that you are going to be ready to be out there and engaging and looking at specific healthcare companies and deciding what is a good fit for you. So that is something that will add a lot of specific information on your journey. And then we will meet again with you via Zoom to conclude the program and ask you for feedback about how we can make the program better for people who are going to be joining the program throughout the course of the next year or so. And I do see, yes, we will, Layla, we will definitely send the recording, and I can send that today as soon as the recording converts itself. We will put it on our, we will also put it on our YouTube channel and send you the link. And that way you can share that with others as they want to, as you bring on more people. So that's the content. You will be accessing, or participants will access the content through a portal. The portal is going to be built into Prosperity Ready's website. And we will, we've started to research and understand the technology of building these portals just in the last few weeks, and we will get more information to you and have really specific instructions on how to get into the portal. But it's basically going to function like a small learning management system. So participants will have their own login credentials. They'll be able to get into each of the sessions that I just described. And in addition, we will be able to post instructions for pre-work and post-work, which are optional, but we highly recommend that you do the pre-work and the post-work. It can be anything from reading an article that has examples of personal brands statements in it, to taking on a challenge to go out and participate in a networking event after you learn the process and all the ins and outs and tips and tricks for networking. And then resources. I mentioned we will send participants a welcome kit that will have some important books and other gifts, little gifts from Prosperity Ready that will help you as you go through this program. So we will have post work for this kickoff that we'll do via Zoom, and it will be to email your resume to Suzanne if you have one. If you don't, no worries. We're going to go down the road with you and help you build it. We have a template. So even if you don't have a resume at this time, you're not going to be starting from a blank sheet of paper. We've got a really good template that was donated to us by one of the premier outplacement services in the country called Navigate Forward. So you will be able to take advantage of a lot of resources and tools that are baked into the program that, again, were donated by Navigate Forward and the CEO and owner of that company. We are going to ask you to read 2 articles about personal brands just to get a sense on what is a personal brand statement. Again, that statement is going to be the first thing on your resume, and it's going to make you leap off of the page, and it's going to make the recruiter and the hiring manager want to call you and find out more about you. And we'll ask you to create a personal brand draft that you can start using with your one-on-one resume coach as you go through this content. So that is basically what we will do for our first session. That, again, will be via Zoom. We will make sure that all participants have their login credentials, and we will interact with people mostly probably via email. But certainly if somebody wants to jump on a Zoom and ask questions as they go through the program, we will make ourselves available for that. So any questions or comments? If not, I will stop recording and we can chat about anything else. All right.
I had a quick question about the articles. Are those articles that you're going to provide, or are those articles you want them research and find?
We will provide
Okay.
any pre or post work or things that we ask people to do, we will provide, and we will have links in the portal to all
Okay.
of the content.
Great.